On today's Live Daily News, big moves are being made by Bath & Body Works in San Angelo. A drunk 4th of July patron goes to jail, and the sheriff kicks off the county budget hearings. Plus, the COVER1 tour across the Concho Valley continues with the first six-man coach on the show, Irion County's Shawn Harrison. All that plus more. I'm Yantis Green, and this is Live. But before we get to the news, situated downtown on the Concho River, the recently remodeled Clarion Inn and Suites provides an upscale, convenient location for your next business trip or meeting. All rooms are upgraded for your maximum comfort. The Clarion has a full-service restaurant and bar and serves a hearty, hot breakfast every morning. The Clarion has ample meeting space for your next meeting or company get-together, and it's the only hotel just steps away from the McNeese Convention Center. For business or pleasure, choose the upgraded Clarion Inn and Suites. We start the news today with news coming out of the Commissioner's Court. Friday marked the beginning of the annual county budget hearings. The hearings kicked off with Tom Green County Sheriff Nick Hanna and his presentation. The sheriff did what other department heads are expected to do, and that's fight for a raise for his employees. This year, Sheriff Hanna asked for a 10% raise across the board for his guys. Why? Well, I'll just let him tell you.
We don't have enough jail personnel. Well, an overtime rate for a sheriff's deputy is higher than it is for a commissioned officer, for a jail officer. One of the things I was going to mention on our salaries is I see our deputies working during the day, and then I see them out working during the night. We've had to take administrative action on one deputy who worked, how many hours in a 2-week period, Chief?
Almost 180.
180 hours in 2 weeks. That's too much. We can't have them doing that. Another officer, he worked 41 straight, either for us or for somebody else. And so perhaps you have to consider, well, what are the habits of that deputy as he put himself in a financial bind. But I think what we see is a trend of officers having to work a lot of extra duties to make ends meet.
The budget hearings will continue over the next week and a half. All county 30 department heads will appear before the Commissioner's Court and will make a pitch for their department's slice of the budget. Joe Hyde has a more in-depth article on that hearing this Friday morning. See it after the show ends on the county section at sanangelolive.com. And Bath & Body Works in San Angelo is looking to open a new location at the Sunset Shopping Center. A building permit with the City of San Angelo is currently pending. The $300,000 permit is asking for the Smell Good store to move into the former Versona building at 4175 Sunset Drive. That's there by Target. We went to the Bed and Bath location inside the Sunset Mall this morning and asked if the original location would remain open. The store declined to comment. Regardless, San Angelo will not be losing the business, but it's possible that the Sunset Mall might. The other business story that made headlines is renaming of an existing retail store. Burke's Outlet, located in Southwest Plaza, is changing its name from Burke's Outlet to Bell's. Bell's Incorporated said in a statement that the chain based in Florida owns both the shopping outlets and made the decision as a rebranding to promote company growth. The decision to change names was made back in April of this year. Burke's Outlet gift cards, credit cards, and reward points will be honored at the same store under the Bell's name. And a San Angelo woman was arrested for celebrating the 4th of July just a little too hard. 31-year-old Emma Salazar has been arrested for harassing a public servant and driving while intoxicated with children under the age of 15 in her vehicle. Officers were dispatched to a residence inside San Angelo for an unknown problem. Once there, a police sergeant saw 2 officers holding up Salazar, who was slurring her words and was in and out of consciousness. Inside her vehicle were 3 children who ran to a nearby residence and asked the people there for help. There was many single-shot empty bottles of alcohol and a tub of the small liquor bottles on the passenger seat. Salazar was taken to Shannon Medical Center because of her condition and refused to give a blood sample. She was eventually booked into the Tom Green County Jail and was being held on $50,000 bond. Moving to weather this weekend, it is going to be beautiful. Of course, today the temperature was a little cool there. It did not get anywhere near 100 degrees, but that will change this weekend as warming trend begins tomorrow. Highs Saturday and Sunday will be in the triple digits, 101 on Saturday, 102 on Sunday. Again, no rain in the forecast. It is July. And, of course, come back Monday for another update on the Concho Valley weather. And finally, the COVER1 crew continues its tour across the Concho Valley. This time they switch it up by bringing on the first 6-man coach, head coach of the Irion County Hornets, Shawn Harrison. And we'll have more after this word from Jim Bass Ford.
Big savings during our demo sale at Jim Bass Ford. We created the Ford Explorer for adventures big and small. It's designed to see what you can't with an available 360-degree camera and voice-activated Sync 3 to stay connected. Plus, it's the all-time best-selling SUV in America. Be adventure ready with Ford Explorer. Now, drive a new Explorer and get $6,000 in total savings. For this great offer, visit Jim Bass Ford today.
Cleaning has never been more essential, and our health has never been more precious. Yet with rising costs, we are having to make hard choices when it comes to buying essentials. Carpet Tech wants to help you maintain a clean and healthy home and afford other essentials like fuel and groceries. So we're giving away a $250 prepaid gift card every week. Anyone who books any Carpet Tech cleaning appointment is entered to win. Even in this economy, we hope an extra $250 will make a difference.
And welcome back to the show. Of course, we're continuing our COVER1 tour across the Concho Valley. We're going to be heading up to Mertzen. Of course, it's not called Mertzen, it's called Irion County, and we're with head coach Shawn Harrison, the brand new head coach out there for the Irion County Hornets. Before we get to him, of course, James Bellini, Ryan Chadwick. Guys, it's been a slow week of sports, but football is coming.
Yeah, it can't come fast enough, Matt. It's a little rough out here right now.
That's okay. We still got some football stuff to talk about. Of course, we're going to bring in Coach Harrison. Coach, I'll give you the first word. How's summer been going, and how's the team attendance for these workouts and things like that been looking?
We're really just getting started right now. We started our first workout this morning at 10 o'clock for the summer stuff. We give them June off. We play a lot of basketball and stuff and some 6-on-6 in June. So the true comeback and workout we started this week. Had a few numbers. Our older kids work, so it's sometimes hard to get them to come, but they've been coming on their own, and they contact me, hey, Coach, I'll be there tonight. I'll do the workout this afternoon or whatever when I get off work. So the kids are putting in the time. Okay, we're just now getting together with them, and it's going to be a good year. Excited, and of course, you know, being a first-year head coach of football, it's for me, it's been exciting.
Hey, Coach, let's talk about that. Coach Don Kofel left.
Yes, sir.
He left with his son who graduated. And how was that? How's that transition been from defensive guy to head coach?
It's been good. I mean, I've been around the 6-man game for my whole. That's my start of the 28th year coaching. I've been in 6-man football all those years, whether I'm a defense coordinator or just help with JV or whatever. So it's I've been around. It's nothing new, you know. And so moving to offense is going to be just on the varsity level. I've done some JV offense and stuff like that. So kind of putting things into place for me to call, you know, because it's got to come out of my head quick. So there'll be a few changes we have, but we're going to keep a lot of the same stuff. It's what we did was really good, and it fits our kids, so we're going to stay with it. So it's been exciting. I mean, Kofel's still around. We spent all last week together at coaching school, visiting and talking and doing some things. So he's still around. So, I mean, it's not like he's disappeared from the face of the earth. So it's going to be fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, Coach, let's just build on that a little bit. Again, you said you were the defense coordinator last year, been that way for a while, switching over to offense now. What other coaching staff changes can we expect next season?
Well, Derek Shane's going to step in and do the defense. We've added a guy he's coming in from Aspermont. He didn't coach at Aspermont, but he's from Aspermont. He's going to be just an assistant with us. We've just hired him, and then Coach Morrow is going to be out there with us. He's been there, lots of years, two stints there at Irion County, head basketball coach. So very good. He'd do whatever we need to. So we got a solid staff again, and it's going to be fun. Just keep rolling.
All right, let's move into kind of the schedule a little bit. Of course, you had a really good season last year, really, really deep run into the playoffs. We were rooting for you guys to go to those states and maybe win a state championship, but you have to take some of those things and relay the message to these kids to keep their confidence up, thinking that y'all can go all the way and win the thing. How has things been since the exit, and what motivation have you brought to your kids who are going to be playing this next season with some of the same expectations?
Well, most of the kids that's going to be on varsity again were there last year, so they've got time. They were on, a lot of them were our backup running backs or backup ends, backup quarterbacks, and they had to step in and do some things. We've got 2 offensive returners and 2 defensive returners and 1 offensive returner, and then our probably third leading running back or third leading rusher is back from last year in Colton Laudermilk. So we got the pieces in place. They've been a part of it. They worked. It's one of those deals. They were against the starters every day last year if they weren't starting. So it wasn't standing on the side watching. They were out there. They were a big part of our preparation every week for every game because they kind of ran our scout team and stuff like that. So they've been in the mix. They've been a part of it. They were on most of those did our special team stuff for us, somewhat, and played some big roles. So had some big catches. I know one little end went down in that May game with some cramps, and that kid stepped in and ran the route, and we hit him for a touchdown. And surprised May. I guarantee you May wasn't looking for us to throw the ball to that kid, but we had those kind of kids behind our good kids or our starting kids. So they're ready. They're hungry. They're excited. I've talked to them just about we're not going to it's not going to drop off. We're just going to keep going.
All right.
You've brought up Laudermilk, and then before we started, we talked about Parker Posey.
Parker Posey,
and
yes.
Then
Keegan Wadsworth.
Who are the other kids who are going to be those contributors this coming season? Who's maybe one kid that
Major Connor's going to be there. He had to fill in one complete game at center last year, and never missed a snap, didn't miss a blocking assignment. He's going to be a good one, solid kid. He's been in the weight room solid for the last 2 years. I mean, he's gotten stronger, he's gotten quicker, and he'll do whatever you ask him to do. And he'll turn around somewhere on defense too, whether it's defensive end, a nose guard type kid down in the trenches. He's a trench guy. He's going to be good. Got good hands, so you can throw it to him. Our level, our game, you can throw to the center. So he's gonna be fine there. Of course, Laudermilk. Tyler Henderson's going to be a senior. He played some end for us. He's grown from about 6'1" in football last year. He's about 6'5", 6'6" now. So he's gotten taller. I mean, I walked out on the field the other day and they were out there messing around, and I'm looking up to him, and I'm 6'4". So I'm going, oh, he's gotten so much taller. He's going to be a good big part of it. Wyatt Morris, we moved him around different spots. He played a lot of different spots for us last year, whether it was a defensive back, an end, some running back. So he's going to be a vital part of what we do. So that's kind of the core. Aaron Davis coming back at core. He was our JV our second team quarterback, and he's played JV all the way through at quarterback. So he kind of knows what we're going to do. So we've got the pieces. We just got to put them all together and figure out who's going to step in, step up, and what's going to work best for us.
And Coach, you say like you're going to see who's going to step up. Like, of course, when you graduate 6 guys like you are, like that's a big loss for a school like Irion County in that 1A system. Is there a certain guy who's kind of taking the lead already in this offseason to like that you can see as being one of the new leaders of this team?
Parker Posey is going to be our true leader. He's a vocal leader. He's started for us on defense for 2 years now, and offense for 1. And so he's going to be the guy that's the most experienced, and then he's going to step in as a leader. And then that Keegan Wadsworth, he's a kid that's just got a motor. One of those kids you can't teach motors. He's got a motor, and he'll go on defense. He's going to be a fabulous kid for us on defense. I think those two are going to kind of lead our way, and then everybody else is just they're good kids. We have good kids out there, and you can't teach that stuff.
I guess so. The real question is, graduated quarterback. Who's gonna be the quarterback, Coach?
Still always up in the air. Iron Davis is solid, and then White Morris has been doing some work this summer. And we may look at him more in the spread because he is a running back. He can throw it a little bit. So some of our tight spread or the sets we have that's not true spread, but get out from under center. We may look at him doing some of that. So.
I mean, you graduated, obviously, your quarterback, a big receiver, and one of the really good running backs. Is it different at the 6-man level when those kids move on than it is at an 11-man? Is it a little I know the game's different, but
it can be. I mean, it's going to be hard to replace those seniors, just because they've all been around in it or starting or a role player since their freshman year, and so it is going to be tough to replace kids like that, just that much experience. But these guys that's coming back, they understood what we were doing. They could step in anytime. We could throw them in anywhere. Several of them could play multiple positions and did multiple things for us when kids were cramping or tired, or and then late in games when we're beating people last year, that they could step in and we just take it right down the field on people. So it's hard to replace those kids, don't get me wrong, but this group, what we've got, I think we're just going to continue on.
I guess that's also a good thing of going as far as y'all did in the playoffs. They got not just that extra playing time, but they got
every
extra
practice
time
yes.
and everything.
Yeah,
so
13 games.
Right. And, Coach, of course, talking about how y'all are going to be fine this year, looking at the schedule, is there a particular game that y'all have picked out that you're like, oh, we want these guys again? Is that one of those things it might not even come until the playoffs where I want this team in the playoffs? So, of course, didn't go all the way last year. You might see those guys again in the playoffs next year, so anything like that?
Well, just to start the season, Buena Vista is going to be good again. They're going to have a new coach, but they were so young and athletic, and it's been the last 2 years, it's been 80 to 60, 83, 80, something like that in both games. So it's a high-powered offensive type games, and it's going to be that again. They got so much talent coming back so you're starting the year, your first game with a very athletic team. So we're going to see where we're at early. Schedule's pretty much the same going through. Highland's going to be good. Again, there's going to be even more experienced and that coach has been there a while, so they're just going to get better and better. Get to district. District's not going to be it's going to be tough. Menard, Robert Lee's got some good kids coming back. Very Best was much improved. Eden's going to be real young, but they're very athletic. So get through that. And it's what we've been doing for 3 years. You're either going to get May or Jonesboro. If you win the district, you're going to get the runner-up out of that district. You get second, you're going to get the winner out of the district. So we've seen May 3 times. And last year we got to see Jonesboro in the third round because he actually got by May. So it's going to be about the same, just like that. So those games are always, you got them on your mind. You're looking ahead to those playoff games. We want to win every one we get to, every game we get to, win district. But, of course, May and Jonesboro, they're going to be highly ranked. Haven't seen any rankings yet, but I'm sure both of those are going to be highly ranked in D1 and coming out of that district. So you always look at one of those two teams, you're going to get first round. So.
And I'll kind of build onto that. We've talked to coaches who are kind of maybe in a similar position as you guys are, who y'all are the powerhouse of the district. I mean, you ran the gauntlet, won every single game by a lot. Some of these games are ending at halftime. How do you keep your team just staying focused on playing really solid, good football while you're in the midst of a 12-game winning streak with the last 4 of them winning by 45?
You got to focus on each game as they come, and every team has their positives, what they're good at, and you just got to scouting report, focus, and keep the kids on the ball, and to just play every game first. You can't overlook anybody. If you start looking at, well, we're going to win district again, and no matter what, we're going to walk out here and do it, and somebody's going to beat you. Somebody's going to have a good game, whatever it is, you get a kid hurt, anything like that. So if you focus on every game as you go, we should be okay.
All right. Yeah, I mean, six man so much. I guess 6 man's just kind of different from what everybody's used to watching. Can you kind of just kind of explain six-man in like the layman's terms that maybe some people who haven't seen much six-man can kind of understand. The center can catch the ball, he snaps it, you can go catch it. Just can you kind of explain the differences?
Yeah. Well, on the snap of the ball, there's got to be a clean exchange. So whoever gets the first snap has got to give it to someone else before they can run. The guy, what you call your quarterback, can't run the ball. Or your first guy that gets it from the center cannot run it across the line of scrimmage with it. So that's a change. You have to have a clean exchange, whether it's handoff, pitch, or he can throw it downfield. With that being said, everybody on the field is eligible for a pass. So any lineman, running backs, even the quarterback after he pitches it, anybody's eligible for a forward pass. And that's really the biggest two changes or whatever that that people don't understand. Right. That watch 11 man all the time. That's the biggest part of 6-man. Other than that, it's just less people on the field. Kids got to be good tacklers. They got to be able to move in open space, run the ball. Your blocks can be quick if you get your kids where they're playing downhill. On offense, you can get through the line quick. Your blocks don't have to be as long. So smaller, quicker kids, you can just shield somebody off for 2 seconds. You can be gone. Games change a little bit. Now you can't cut outside of the tackle box, about a 5-yard deal in there. You can't go out and cut people out and none downfield anymore. So it's changed the game a little bit away from the little bitty guys that quick and just go take your knees out in a hurry. That's changed a little bit. So some of your strategies have changed, especially defensively and offensively. Bigger running back blocking, lead blocking, or bigger defensive ends that don't have to worry about getting cut can be more effective. Just stuff like that. Just little things in the game with the rules that have changed. But it's still football. You still got to block. You got to tackle. You still throw the ball. You got to see the holes, hit the holes, all that kind of stuff. So it's similar, but it is a little different.
Cool thing is you can score 100 points.
Well, I guess the biggest part is that 45-point rule. To score 100, you got to give up a bunch too.
Yeah, that's true.
But with that 45-point rule, where after at halftime, if you're up by 45, the game's over. You don't have to go finish the game. I wish they'd put it in 11-man. Some of these big, because if you can 45 somebody in 11-man, you've pretty well demolished them. And it's been a long day for some of these teams. But
that's no joke.
But it's good. I love the game. Sometimes people ask why I like it. Being a basketball coach before, I just tell them it's like basketball on grass. You just had one guy. But it's
basketball on grass.
Yes, it's still wide open. It's fun, and and if you've got the kids, you can put a tight package in and pound people. So there's it can be adjusted to any type of kid you got, and still be fun for the kids.
Does that kind of change how some people might look at the offense? They might have a like a basketball where you try to feed the ball to one guy. Does that put some plays on your offense where you try to confuse the defense and get one of the defensive backs to follow and open up the field?
Always.
Does that just kind of change
you're
up
always
how
sending decoys. You're always sending, a lot. We use a lot of the third route, and that, if you send one receiver, usually somebody's out there to cover them somewhere, unless you're just not very good. 2, everybody's package usually has 2. When you start, misdirection, bootlegs and stuff, and you send that third back out there, a lot of times they're open.
So it's a lot more there's probably a lot more strategy in trying to send 2 decoys and then the guy's going to get the ball on a.
Well, it's not necessarily decoys, just kids. You got to understand what the other team's trying to do and where the weakness is going to be, and then try to put a kid in that spot. And you got to teach your kids that here's your first look, here's your second look, and this is the guy that's probably going to be open. If that guy's going deep, but they're playing deep, he's probably not going to be open, but we can't not look at him, because if they do make a mistake and he's open, you got to hit him, you got to score. So you give him the progressions and stuff like that to put him in the best place to succeed.
And Coach, I know you always have a game plan, but is 6-man even more like game time adjustments, like halftime adjustments, like that than 11-man football? Like if you see something, or you're like, okay, we have to take advantage of this, otherwise we're not going to score at all.
Yes, you better have some alternative to what you're doing, some scheme in somewhere that you've practiced, that something you think is going to work and doesn't, or they come in with a completely different defensive scheme than what you've worked on all week. You got to be able to make quick adjustments. a lot of that time is, you play so many different teams, scrimmage teams and all that you'll see most of the defense. And a lot of times it's just the blocking schemes, changing the blocking schemes. We're going to hit, instead of this hole, we're going to hit one hole wider. It's still the same play. We're just going to hit it one hole wider. We're going to block down instead of block out. Just little things like that. The running back's going to get the guy, not you. You're going to go ahead and go get this guy. So some of it's blocking schemes, and like you said, it's a halftime adjustment. It's sideline adjustment. You're doing it on the fly. And the better your kids are adjusting, the better you're going to be. And sometimes you just got to allow your athletes to be athletes. You may send a kid defensively trying to, tendencies and stuff like that, and you send them the wrong way. The best teams, their kids can go from that and just reverse the field, change direction, and still go make a play, maybe a first down or something like that, save a touchdown, and then go back to doing what you're doing. Sometimes you just got to rely on athletes.
Mm-hmm. So you already have plan. You don't just have plan B, you got plan
Yes.
HIJKLMNOP.
Well, I'll give you an example. We scrimmaged Belmurray, which is always like number one, number two physical team. I love going against Vance Jones because he is so fundamentally sound and his kids are so tough. To me, it gives us an idea of how we're going to be. But we walk out there last year and they pop us right in the mouth in that first. It's a second scrimmage, and our T offense didn't work. Well, about the third play, we go to a wing, just move one running back to the wing. Now they have to cover 4 holes instead of 3 holes, and all of a sudden we move the ball. And then it just changed the whole complexion of the scrimmage. And if we'd have stayed probably in our tee the whole time, they'd have popped us right in the mouth and we'd have gone out there with a bad taste in our mouth. But move one kid to a wing and make them have to defend one more gap in your offense, and we started moving the ball and got something. Then we come back to our tee and it worked. So, sometimes just that little change like that and makes a huge difference.
Yeah, just mess them up just a little bit.
Yeah, just make a 16-year-old kid think. I mean, that's the biggest part.
Honestly, yeah.
Put a 16-year-old kid in a spot he's never been in before. That's y'all know how that is.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a 16-year-old kid once.
Exactly. All right. Well, this is last thing on cover one. We always do one final question. I will go ahead and start this, and then we'll ask one more, and then I'll give you one final thought for yourself, Coach. So my question here is, I usually ask who is like the meanest lineman or the roughest, toughest lineman, but I think you're the defensive guy. The biggest thing about 6-man is open field tackling. So I would rather ask, instead of who's the meanest guy, who is the best open field tackler for Irion County, because that is the person that could make it or break it for you guys for y'all season.
For us, it's probably that Keegan Wadsworth. He's so quick, and a lot of times he catches people from behind, and he can close a gap in a hurry. He'll chase people down. He rushes when teams are in spread. He's our spread rusher, and he'll keep kids in front of him. And even if they dump it off, he'll turn around and sprint and catch people. So he's probably our best. You wouldn't look at him as a form tackler or a big monster or a big hitter, but he's always going to get there and make the tackle. And sometimes in 6-man, I tell kids the best thing you can do is make the tackle.
Yeah.
You can go for the big hit all day, and if you get the big hit award, it's all good. But if you miss 3 tackles trying to get that big hit, it's not any good for us. We'll have 6 kids that just go tackle, and he's going to be one of those that just gets to the ball and tackles.
Right on.
All right. You said you've been coaching for nearly 30 years. You've been out at Irion County for a while now. You're their defensive guy. Now you're their head guy. What has coaching at Irion County taught you about yourself, and what does that community out there mean to you?
Well, the community's awesome. I'll start with them. I mean, I don't know if y'all went to our playoff games. We ended up playing over in Early, and Early got a pretty good sized stadium, and it was filled to the max. They were there 30, 45 minutes early, had flags up. I mean, I call it Hornet Nation. You can't, there's people come up and say, hey, great job, and never seen them before, and so they follow us. I mean, they're if we need something, we ask, and somebody's going to come and do it for us. So the community behind this team, the school behind the team, teachers behind the kids is amazing. You have it in a few places, but not every place has it, and it can put you over the top at some times. Administration is great. Ms. Chapman, she loves our kids, and she's always there for them, and she's awesome. So in that regard, doing it for so many years, for me, I teach. I teach on the field, just like we teach in the classroom. I teach the game, whatever game it is. You know, I'm not a believer in just, okay, we're running this defense, y'all go be athletes. I try to get them to understand why they're doing it. I tell you to read that kid, attack with his shoulder, do whatever, there's a purpose in it. And when they start figuring those things out, and I see those light bulbs, that's what I call it. When you see the light bulb come on, a kid starts understanding, and then boom, boom, you know, all of a sudden you get 6 kids that are understanding what you're doing, or in basketball, 5 kids that are out there on the floor and all of them understand. That gives me as much joy as the winning and losing. Just seeing the kids starting to understand what we want to do and why we do it, and then go perform and do it. And you see them start having more fun. And that's me. I'm a teacher first. So I want to teach the game, and then the wins and losses will come.
Yeah, I was in early, so I saw the stands packed, and even in basketball, I mean, the stands were always there.
Yes, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, no, it was pretty insane, but it was cool.
All right, Coach, and just going to build off James' question a little bit. Before we started the interview, talked about coaching at Tarleton State for a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Is just talk about like the biggest difference from college to high school coaching, and what lessons you brought from college to high school, and finally, what do you like best, college or high school?
Well, I can give you the quick answer to the college versus high school. I did not like recruiting. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason I came back to high school, was I did not like to recruit. Recruiting's hard, it's time consuming, and I already started a family and stuff. So that's one of the reasons I got back into the high school level. The coaching part is a lot the same. I mean, it's just a year or two older kids, you know. So, but what I learned is how to treat people from my college days. I worked for Lon Reisman there at Tarleton, and he taught me how to, you know, treat your custodians, treat the people in the building, you know, treat the fans, you know, what it takes to just be a part of everything. So, so coming in and being a part of communities, I've moved 6 or 7 times with the high school teams, and just coming in and being a part of a community, getting involved, and then treat people like the way you want to be treated is the biggest part I've learned, you know. So, as far as the college goes, I just know what it took when a kid comes into college. So I feel like I can help a kid understand when you come in there, it's a job. It's not just, you're not going to go play. It's not intramurals. Mm-hmm. You're not just going to go play. Everything you do. You know, we'd lift weights from 9 to 10. We'd have a study hall from 7 to 9 before that, and then the practice during the day. And kids just don't. They think they're just going to college to be, you know, to play a little bit of basketball, but it's going to be fun. And I'm like, no, it's a job. So that part of it, where I feel like I talk to a kid, you know, it's interested in going to college and what it is, you know, what it is, and even not even just playing. If they want to go be a part of an athletic program, what are you going to have to do to get into that program and be a part of the program? So,
all right, Coach, I'll give you the final thought here. Just give the fans out there something to get excited about for this upcoming football season, and just to get everybody ready.
Well, I just look at these kids, and I've watched them play basketball in June, and I've watched us play 6-on-6 in May and early June, and just seeing the excitement. And then I get to go to coaching school and get to be with all the other coaches that are in the Six-Man Association, and that just fires me up. I'm always ready to come home and go to work. When I come back from coaching school, you learn so much from the other guys. They talk to you, you talk to them, and you get to see them, and it just puts your brain into what's it's here, it's time. And so I've been, you know, off and on since I've took the job, looking at what's my offense going to look like, what little bit am I going to change there, you know, how is it going to be to change from defense to offense and giving up the defense that I've done so many years. And every time I go to work and start doing it, I just get excited. I start looking at kids' names, put their names in, which ones are going to play here and there and all that. And I just start getting excited, and I just think, I know that we can be very competitive. We can win our district. We can make the playoff run. And we can continue what we've already built there in the last. It's been 4 years since they dropped down to 6-man, and it's been a good run. And I think these kids are excited as we are too. They're starting to take a little ownership, and that's one thing I pushed to them when I first talked to them in the spring after track season was over and everything. I said, "It's yours now. These guys have graduated. This is yours. You got to take ownership." So ownership is a big thing for me, and I can see kids starting to take that. So I hope the community enjoys, you know, as excited as I am about what we're fixing to do.
It's going to be an exciting season, Coach. We really thank you for coming on. And guys, once again, this is head coach of the Irion County Hornets, Shawn Harrison. Coach, we really appreciate it.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Perfect. And we'll go back to the studio with you guys. When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Concho's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Concho's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Concho stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Concho's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
And that's it for news, weather, and sports this week. And on behalf of the San Angelo Live team, thanks for listening and watching. And we will talk to you again on Monday.